Okay, since it's spring break, the attendance is light here. Sean is out fishing with his son, and other people are not here. So I'm recording this session, and we're going to go ahead and get started. First off, recognition of the producers. You got Bill Waters jamming with 203,000 year to date, actually 204,000 year to date. More to come. Mark Mayberry's got a lot of action going on right now. And those are our two leaders, and congratulations to them. As you can see, our numbers are fairly significantly larger. Last year, we did about 140, maybe 130,000. We've already exceeded, we're close to 250, and we're got 10 days left in the month, so we're feeling pretty good. Got a lot of large accounts coming in, and so that's all good. And we appreciate everybody's help. Finally, we're starting to gain traction. The relationship with Styles is beginning to pay off. Feeling pretty good about things. We scheduled three major items today. One of them is having to do with Cutright, and I've got Sam on the line. And Sam, we had a meeting last week, and basically one of the deals that Mark Mayberry had finished up in New Mexico, we had a problem, and it ended up costing Mark, RSA, and Styles money. And the meeting was based on how do we never have that happen again. What it amounted to is that there's a rule, and the rule is that when we sell wood CAD CAM, it's mandatory that Cutright gets upgraded. And you know, we just don't seem to have the procedure down to avoid a car wreck when this happens, and it ends up being a negative in a discussion rather than a positive in a celebration. And so Joe Kylan, Alan Hoffman, and Sean Mayberry, myself, and Sam, I think those were the participants in the meeting last week. We finally came up with a way that maybe we can avoid this. First of all, I have to say that I can't stand having someone else in the middle of my deal. I can't stand vulnerabilities of somebody else calling in on the account while I'm closing the account, and that's the way we all are. It's very volatile, and especially when it comes to Cutright. And let me explain why I say that. Here's what's gone on in the past, and this is a quagmire that Sam and Alan, they didn't make it. They were told this is what we're doing, and their software was sold with a saw. And in many cases, they had modules that were sold that became very necessary. It's kind of like a pattern systems layout, where they would get something to do cut planner or product planner, and then they'd have all kinds of different accessories or modules that they would sell. And we're in there, and we're thinking in terms of optimization and nesting, and that's it. Meanwhile, the customer's in there, and they've got all these modules that we don't even know about. And our problem is that, Cutright basically said, hey, you need to upgrade all these people one way or the other. And if you're going to be selling them wood CAD CAM, you need to upgrade Cutright to whatever it is that they're going to be using. Well, we thought that release 9 was, if they had said they had release 9, we didn't have to worry about it. Well, it turns out that that's not the case. And there's a story behind that, but it doesn't really make any difference. I'm telling you where we're at, I'm not telling you this is logical. I'm not telling you this is, acceptable, or, this is where we're at. This is how we can make money. First of all, if you've got a deal going, and it doesn't include Cutright, fine. Sam, nobody needs to be involved. If you've got a deal going and it does include a customer that already owns Cutright, the best thing to do, and this is not a option, this is a must. You have to get in touch with Sam, tell him the account, and then Sam will go through and look at what the account has, which we really don't know, and a lot of times the account doesn't know because it was purchased with the saw a long time ago, and they may not even use it. But in Stiles' organization, they're looking at it as property that either needs to be traded in. Okay, so let's say I'll use RB Woodcraft as an example. They had a lot of modules that they don't use. So Sam and I worked together prior to the quotation, and we figured out, okay, they're not going to use this, they're not going to use that one, they're not going to use this, and and Sam traded that value of that product in to get them the upgrades and save that customer a lot of money. Yes, the customer had to spend $6,000 or $7,000 on upgrades. I mean, they had 2 network keys and it was expensive, but they got exactly what they needed and they were all set. The customer knew about it before, and it was, in this case, included in that transaction because at that point, Stiles was saying, you guys will be involved in upgrades. Since then, it got so convoluted. The Stiles says, man, we were sitting there going, this dealing with upgrades is crazy. And it is crazy. And it's not as if Alan and Sam are got this convoluted master's mix of pricing that they gives them job security. That's not what it is at all. What it is that the supplier has got them very, very much in an awkward way, and they're having to survive in that way. And it's impossible if you listen to what Sam goes through to try to calculate a price. You start shaking. It's so confusing. It's a difficult situation that Sam's in. But I will tell you this, that, we have to deal with it. We can't just say it's wrong. We can't just say that's screwed up. We can't do that. We have to deal with it. So what I'm recommending, and it's your choice, but if you've got a deal going down with an account that has a cut right already owned in it, I would get that deal over to Sam and let him look at it and figure out the cheapest way possible to move that guy into the future. If you communicate with the customer and you say, hey, this is what the customer has and this is what he wants to do, he doesn't want to use these other objects that he's purchased, trade them in, your price will come out lower and the drama on the customer will be reduced. You can do it, or Sam can do it. Stiles is going to make sure it's done one way or the other because they're more concerned about making sure the customer has the right software to move forward as opposed to making money. But you got to be careful, because if they have like 5 or 10 modules that they purchased 5 years ago and they didn't do anything with it, and then all of a sudden they've got a catalog running, it could be a big dollar amount to move that software forward. So, and eventually it's going to be that software's not worth anything and they're going to have to rebuy it. So it's a very complex, complicated situation. It isn't as if they're saying we don't want to deal with you guys. It's as if we just got to communicate with them. Now, you can text Sam, you can email Sam, or you can call Sam. Any one of those 3 things is just fine. But if you're going to close a deal and Sam doesn't know about the deal and he gets the purchase order, it's going to be one of these conversations that is going to be, it's not going to be a celebration, it's going to be a complication. I'd much rather have it be proactive, clean it before we submit it in for sale, and I'm sure Pam feels the same way. But that's where we're at with that. Now, I've asked Sam, to look at what he can do to help us too, and he's going to see what we can do. We've asked for years about, hey, you guys got all these users, and we'd like to leverage that. And Sam's going to work hard to try to get something like that to get us some information, so it's not just a negative one-way deal. We need leads. We all know we need leads. There's no reason why you can't evaluate it and move it forward. So there is a reason. They don't like to share their data, but it might be that we can, it's not sharing the data, just give us the name of the company and the name of a person. And I don't care about the history, but Sam can find that out for us. He has access to that. Sam, I've got you on the line. You have anything more to add to that?
Yes. Just so that we have the right perspective on this, when Roger mentioned that we're trading in, we're technically not. The only there is one module that we do have credit for when upgrading the software, which is the EMI module toward the nesting package, and there are quite a bit of those modules out there. So that does have a value that brings down the cost of the NE module in a package if you're selling NE with it. The other thing that I would also like to point out is that our information that we provide, we're able to lock it in with our supplier, but we only have a 30-day time window. And historically, we've had, and I'm not speaking of anything specifically recently, but if we generated information outside of that 30-day window, we need to stop and double-check it before we put a fine point on a number for a customer. It can change quite a bit. So it usually doesn't, but right now we have some incentive programs that they're running. We're desperately trying to get all of our customers up to version 10. Now, version 10 is a specific version. It is the end of our previous support program, which was a purely optional support program. We would have people that have 15-year-old versions of Cutright that haven't been on a support contract for 14 years. So the new system in version 10 is going to put everyone onto a support program that includes a free upgrade. So once we get everybody to 10, everyone will stay on current versions, and that the problem that we're dealing with now will go away eventually. It's going to be a hard turnover getting everybody to 10, but once we do, we'll be able to go more successfully. And like Roger mentioned earlier, we all know that WoodCAD CAM will work with version 9. Now, we have a special version of 9 that we buy at an additional price every time that we have sold it, but now version 10 will have it. We're still going to deliver 9. Don't be confused about the actual version of the software we're delivering. The important point is that we get the keys program to 10, and that's what we're having to do, is get everyone to 10, and then from this point forward, it will make RSA and Styles customers' life so much easier to be a Cutright owner. But we're transitioning, and that's a big part of what we're doing. Another thing that you have to be aware of is that we have some rock bottom upgrade prices. We call it Ben calls it ACMAL pricing. I call it the V10 incentive program. Is that we are selling upgrades at just a couple bucks over what we pay for it. It is nothing in there. It is I'm seeing some of these that are $4,000 and $5,000 off of what the regular upgrade price would be. So it's a pretty substantial savings in there. And the older the package, the bigger the value it is to them. So we are closing out any customer that has versions B71 or prior, which is 7.0, 6.5, 6.2, 6.1. All those customers will have an expired license as of March 31st. Now, we've been through that list. We're on our second go-around through that list, and we've knocked out quite a few of those, but we've also been able to determine some of these people are inactive and that those licenses are just going to be marked as no longer working licenses. The next we will do is we'll be closing out 8.0. So we haven't announced that we're going to be closing 8.0 out, but that's what will be next on the chopping block, and we will do the same with it. We'll run an incentive program to get all those closed out and get as many of these out of the way. But we've got 1,000 customers that we're trying to get upgraded. I'm just guesstimating. I haven't pulled the number, but that's about what we're dealing with. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to give me a call. If you have, Roger and I spoke a little bit earlier, if there's any subjects that you feel like you need assistance with or you need help maybe with your demos, if there's a certain aspect of demos that you're getting questions and you don't feel comfortable being able to provide the answers, to your satisfaction, make a list. I'll be happy to come in and contribute to the meeting with some presentation, or even if it's just some documentation that I circulate for you guys that may be helpful. I don't have anything at the moment as far as working with Home Ag Solutions on version 12 or anything to do with WoodCAD-CAM, but I will be on the lookout for anything that might pop up on the radar that would interest you. Does anybody have any questions now? If you do, or if it doesn't come to mind right now, please contact me, or if you're listening to this as a recording, please contact me. I'll be happy to assist you.
Sam, I think one of their concerns, would be, okay, so you're telling me that I need to talk to Sam before, I consummate this deal and get those numbers, so the customer won't be surprised or called after a transaction's done with WoodCAD-CAM and Roger Shaw and Associates. When we call, what kind of turnaround return response are you committing to? Are you saying you'll get back to us within 1 business day, or what's your goal there, Sam?
Roger, I wish I could say that it would be immediate. In most cases, I do it as quickly as I get it. Now, there will be some examples where I'll hit a scenario, and if there's any way that I can save you additional money, I will. I mean, and then that may take a phone call that either requires me to catch someone at App or Germany in order to get you a better deal. And I can't promise in a 24-hour period, like for instance, if I'm at a seminar, I can't promise 24.
Okay,
we will certainly use that as a benchmark.
If we call you or text you or email you, can you just text us back and say when you're going to get in touch with us?
I can do that.
Okay.
And if the worst case scenario is that I can pretty quickly get you a min-max number, but it's that working in the gray area in between.
Yeah.
That if I could call and confirm that my supplier is like-minded to what I want to do, then I can get, a lot of times I can get you the absolute best pricing that way.
Okay.
Now when it comes to a preference is, we didn't talk about this specifically, Roger, but when you come across an existing cut-right customer and you're going to be doing something with WoodCAD-CAM, you can assume that they need something cut right until we determine otherwise. You're not going to encounter many V10 customers at this stage because we're relatively new versions. So you're going to be V9 or prior.
We understand.
Okay. So when you encounter this customer, if you're wanting to write this into your proposal, that will be your choice. Or if you would rather have your cut-right upgrade documented separately, we'll be happy to provide that for you. Or if you prefer, we'll actually take over that part of the conversation if you prefer. So you're going to have choices in there of when you want us to be a participant in this sales effort or when you don't.
Okay.
Now, and I've already established that some people have a preference to have one document that includes both. And then there are some people who have seen that there are advantages to have them entirely separate because it helps to delineate that X amount of dollars goes towards a WoodCAD-CAM package that equates to a competitive comparison with other design and engineering packages, and that the cut-right upgrade is relative to what it would cost as an investment to buy new systems instead of a less amount to upgrade what they already have.
Okay.
So,
all right, Sam, I appreciate your time. We got to get to the next one. You guys just keep in mind, don't send him surprises. Let's send him when he gets a purchase order from us that he's not surprised by it and has to go back and disappoint people. So let's be proactive rather than reactive. That's the whole purpose there. Okay, moving forward. Pam, are you on?
Yeah, I'm going to hang up though. If anybody needs me, please feel free to contact me.
Okay, Sam. Thanks a lot. Pam, are you there?
Thank you.
Okay, I didn't hear from Pam, so I went ahead and put this in here. You guys got an email from Quentin this week. We discussing the processes for getting scheduled for services. And so please review this letter, and we'll talk more about it. But it is how we're going to operate, and it's pretty simple. We are having problems with moving forward, getting everything nailed down, and getting everything installed. The install for Release 12 is causing us problems. And we are having a major technology summit next week in Kansas to nail down the IPP processes, and that's looking good compared, but we are seeing some volatilities in Release 12. That's being worked out, but that's tenuous right now as we speak. So needless to say, our service department is got its head down. We're in a training class right now, and just things are happening. They're working hard. Their workload is frankly higher than what their capacity is, and we're doing everything we can to address those issues. What you can do to help is follow this process and enhance communications with the understanding that they're pretty busy, and they need you to take control of your sales in terms of putting it into Salesforce and getting these things scheduled. That's all I have for that. I don't know if Kim is on. I think you are. Kim, are you there?
Hey, Roger, can you show that process? I don't recall saying that.
I am so sorry. I am so sorry. It's actually in the invitation, which you said you didn't get. But here's the letter. This was sent to you from Quentin, and I just cut and pasted it, but here it is. I was actually showing it on a second screen. Does that sound familiar? Are you seeing it, Bill?
Yeah, well, I see I see a little bit of it.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do. After I hang up, after this meeting, I'll send it out to everybody once again. So we'll see. But that's the process to follow.
How do we communicate to know where it's at?
Just read the instructions, and you'll see how the communication works. It's all in Salesforce. So it's just you put the requests in and stuff like that, and then when he gets to it, he gets to it. It's just like it's more texting than anything. And if you have more questions, concerns, let's get them out there. Send emails to everyone so we can see it, and we'll get it cleared up. Now, Jonathan is here with us. I did want to show how basically we kicked this thing off with Jonathan's company in Canada as an MES product. We may have jumped in a direction that caused some problems with Styles because they're spending a lot of money trying to come up with a sophisticated, well, I shouldn't say trying, coming up with a sophisticated MES product that would complement an ERP system, and it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it's going to do things that are very, very, very nice for the very, very few customers that can afford it. So we basically have this, Jonathan and Mark Andre really branded their product as Production Assistant, and which is a great name. And so we've gone backwards, and I asked Kim and Christy to change the website to rebrand it to Production Assistance. So we've done that. So on the website, this is the way it looks. Okay, and so it's not a big change, but we want to start using. You can say Production Assistant, yeah, kind of like a MES system, but it's really more of a complement, leverage to blah 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 to your existing system, fast integration, blah blah blah, on and on and on. And so we were going to have Jonathan and Mark Andre give a presentation last week, but something came up and they couldn't do it. So he's back to do that today. And basically, what we want to do, if you recall Sean's questions, let me see if I can get to them. Hang on. Sorry, guys. 1 second here. If you see these questions, this is the spine of the sale, if you will. If you as opposed to features, advantages, and benefits, as you pursue this type of business, you need to get answers to these questions, which stimulate the value of Jonathan's product. And I said Jonathan and Mark's product. And so what I want to do is I want to give the screen. Jonathan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay. I want to give you the screen, and hopefully you can kind of give a presentation and target the product to these questions.
Okay. I'll try to cover these questions towards that. So what I'll do today is I'll re-show a little bit what we saw in the web meeting and the demonstration with the software, maybe go in more precision with some stuff, because it is pretty straightforward software, and there's not a full complicated stuff inside. So I'll try to re-show you in that direction. If you have some questions, just let me know.
Okay.
If you want to ask some questions or whatever during I'm rolling with it. Okay.
Okay. Jonathan, I do have something that I've got an account that I'm working. His big thing is that there's no way you can get it installed and running very fast. And Sean came back to me and said, well, just get them to show some orders on how they download into the system. And they happen to be a Cabinet Vision customer, so I was just kind of wondering if I don't know how hard that is to show, but that's something or if you could talk us through that.
Yeah, I can explain some stuff towards that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So the first part of it really depends on what we're integrating, but we have the possibility, like we said, to import 3 kinds of things inside the system. Actually, it's a project from Microvalum version 6.7. It's a project from Microvalum version, let's call it version 7, and higher. And we can import Cabinet Vision project inside of it also. Okay. So it's really, and then we can import also what we call the Sales Assistant webcam. So what's really important with it is just to choose the fact or whatever we want to import inside of it. And then we have some paths where we need to fill out, like where, if it's project Microvalum in 6.7, where's the job they are. If it's Cabinet Vision, where the jobs are also. And then you have certain parameters from the CAD/CAM to enter, like the customer name, the address, etc., that goes inside the fields. Where's the producing file, or if it's Cabinet Vision, where is the material CVC file, its place. So there's like little paths that we need to fill out, and depending on what we choose out of information. Normally it takes about half an hour to set up these kind of things. The hardest part, I would say, inside of the post that we do is mostly to separate what is a product towards what is an accessory inside of it. There's 2 things that needs to be, this is what needs to be set up. If you're going with Microvalum, normally what we trying to say, if it's an accessories or product, is to be defined like with the shop labor field. But if it's in Cabinet Vision, there's categories that you can choose in and predefine their importation file by saying by the hardware or by the type of categories it is inside of Cabinet Vision. That needs to be defined. So it's still stuff like that that just needs to be known to be easy to understand. So once we have imported that file, there's 2 ways that we do import the project inside of the production assistant. There's a manual way, so the customers goes in and just choose the importation job they want to get in. So depending on the path where we set the job are, they go in and select the project that they want to import, and it goes directly inside the system. Or the second way is automatic import. So what happens is that when the database is filled out for cabinet vision or when it's filled out for microvellum with the production information, automatically, boom, the job comes in inside the project. That goes?
Yep.
Okay. So what actually the system is doing is reading really the database file and just importing the information of these CAD/CAM software. So we're taking like the parts information, the hardware information, the doors, etc., and we import it directly inside the software. So this is why we have all these information that comes in. So like you saw right there on the left of our screen, we see all the work orders or the project or the jobs that has been produced, that has been processed from the CAD/CAM software. So if we're talking about cabinet vision, well, each time they're doing a reporting or a process that they come out, they fill out normally two databases important, the reports database and the PCSM, something like that, database, that is the nesting. So once these databases are filled out, automatically this is a job that we import. We can do some specific things like saying each time that you're importing a job, divide the job by rooms. So they're going to follow up each work order by rooms, or they can just follow up a full project or full jobs inside the system here. So actually with our work orders, what we have here is all on the left, all our job work orders. These are the current ones. So the current are the ones that are still active in the shop that need to be produced. Then you have the services work orders. These services work orders are all project that has been shipped, but does still have some back orders or damaged part that needs to fill out. So normally these are your services that you're going to need to fill out inside your shop. And the completed work orders are always a project that has been fully completed, that everything has been placed to ship and the job is really finished. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So actually with the system, one of the first function that we wanted to give was being to be able to do some tracking of where the project is in an easy way. I'm going to explain that there's different ways to do the tracking with the system, different possibilities, okay? So with the system, the first possibility to do their tracking, so by what I'm talking tracking is scanning. It's the easiest way is that we can do a scanning, what we call a first scan and a second scan. So each station that you want to use that kind of scanning is that you go in and you scan the first time when you start your job and you scan the second time when you finish your job, and it's going to change the status of everything inside of that job. So this is the first type of scanning. It's pretty easy. It's not too complicated for the guys in the shops, and it still gives a result. The advantage we have also is that each scan is logged in inside the database, so we know at what time, what moment that they did their scan. So by that, you can get out a report that's going to tell you the status of what it is. The second type of scanning that we can do if somebody would like to go more advanced, well, if you're doing like the saw or the nesting, they could scan each nesting sheet that they do by the time. So it changes all the parts attached to all the sheet of nesting. So it's going to ask the operator to just scan in each sheet. So this is the second possibility if you want to go deeper inside of it. And if you guys have questions, don't go ahead and don't be.
What does the screen look like when you're scanning?
Actually, it just, well, if I scan like a first and a second time,
yeah.
If I go in, I'm just going to select for me the job automatically where it is. When I scan the second time, it just changes the status towards that.
Oh, okay, so it's the same screen.
Yeah, it's the same screen. Everything works inside the same screen that you see here.
Okay.
All the information is one tab. So the goal of it was for the guys in the shop, you don't want to make it too complicated. They want to see exactly what they need to see fast. Okay? Mm-hmm. So each type of scanning is attached to the station that they log in. Okay? So each station, we tell them what type of scanning they are. So actually, I'm at the CNC station. So this is why I recognize that it needs to have a start and an end scan, because we have attached to that station that type of things. Other station, you can attach different kind. Like if you're doing assembly, probably then we will do what we call scanning product or parts. So each time that they want to finish a cabinet that's been assembled, they just need to scan the product label name or a part label. So it's going to change the status to say that this cabinet has been assembled.
So if you scan a part label, it'll take the whole assembly with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just depends on what you did as a configuration. You can also have the scanning of each part labels, but it's another type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then you need to scan each part. So it really depends of what you want to do inside of that station. You can also have the type of scan that we call kitting. So kits, sorry. So what it gives is that each time that you do a package, well, you're going to scan kits that's going to go inside the truck or at the storage place that you want.
Okay.
So we predefine each station with the type of scan that we want, and there's also possibility to do scanning of, I think you guys call that sorting. So what it is that we call that when you go out from the CNC, it creates a sorting number for like the edge banding or for the CNC machinings. And let's say for the edge banding, it places all the same parts that has the same edge banding together, or the same color of edge banding, and then you can scan the first part of your sorting, and then you scan the last part of your sorting. So it's going to change the status of each part that's attached to that sorting. So this is another possibility to scan more advanced of information, but there's different kind of ways that we can just do our scanning. It all depends on what the customer wants to get as information, and make it the easiest way, the easiest inside the shop.
Okay.
Is it clear for the scanning?
Yes. Well, I guess it's clear on the first part, but let's just say you wanted to, you were working in a cabinet, a kitchen cabinet thing, and you wanted to go through the finish room. Not all the parts go to finish, but some do. The same theory applies. You have a bar. It'd be a scan on a barcode to go into finish and then out of finish.
Exactly. This is the easiest way that people do it. They do a first scan when it starts to finish, and a scan when it when it's finished.
Okay.
But if you want to go deeper with their scan, we can add condition to our set. It all depends. Do you want to scan all parts that go through the finish? They could do it. But it's a lot of scanning. It really depends what the company wants.
Right. Most people just want to do start and finish.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's fast, it's easy, it's not too demanding for the guys in the shop, and they still get result information for the office. But
so when you're selling this, Jonathan, or whoever's selling it, and you're asked to come in and say, okay, tell me how I should, how many scanning centers or how many collection centers I should have and all that. What's your thought process? What questions do you ask?
Yeah, well, first thing we're trying to go do it is that the big thing is that it's a grown-in process towards the shop. So if they installed station and scan guns everywhere on the shop, they will have a lot of difficulties to be able to make everyone scan at the right moment. The hardest thing with the software is not importing jobs, not using it, is to making sure that the person in the shop does their work and just scan. So you need somebody that's just going to learn them and follow them to be sure that they scan. Okay, so you should normally what we do as a basic start with it, they want to know when the project comes inside the job. So normally the first station that they place in it's at the CNC or at the saw, depending on what they have, so they know that the job comes inside the job. Then the edge banding and the dialing machine or the CNC machine, it's pretty much lean in their process. So once it's cut, it's been CNC or edge banding. Normally the process, the delay is pretty fast. So they cap the information back from the assembly stations. So normally we replace station there, and then we replace two other stations, one for the preparing for shipping, that we can call it inspection or whatever they want to call it towards that, and the guys at the shipping. Just by this little process there, they get a lot of information. And then while it works and they get the return investment and it works fine, then they grow and adding station other places I don't know if you understand what I mean.
I do understand what you mean. Basically, what you said is at the CNC tool, maybe at the edge banding tool, at the inspection area, at assembly, and then at loading.
Yeah, yeah, but not the edge bending, because pretty much it's fast that when they finish CNC, the edge bending is being done by itself in pretty much the same days. So normally, at first start, they want to cap it at the assembly.
Okay. Okay. So let's just another question I have for you, Jonathan, is what about in the situation where you basically are manufacturing a catalog of products here of boxes or cabinets? What about the odd one-off that's over there in the other area of custom? How does that work?
Well, once again, it has product label, has part label, so they can just scan the part for saying that cabinet has been done in the assembly of the custom. So each time that the status can be the same, it's going to change when they're going to say, okay, it's assembled, but we know exactly where it has been done because they're going to connect at the station called the customs or whatever we want.
Okay, so then you have another custom station, custom assembly station, I guess is what it would be.
Yeah, yeah, at the assembly, yeah.
Okay, all right.
But it can be the same status. That's going to give information, but by the meaning the work path, we're going to know what station they connect to.
Got it.
Okay, so yeah, there's different ways of doing these scanning information. So part labels, product labels, kit labels, scan in or out information, or even each sheet that has been scanned. So these are really the different kind of scanning. It all depends on how the customer wants to configure it.
Okay.
Then, if we go to another function, as you guys saw, it's more like the detailed information of a product. So when you choose a product that you have and you want to go through inside of it, you do have some detail information that can be called in. So when I go in, you always have that drawing right there, that 3D drawing that has been redrawn from the product that you have, okay? So we take all information, the orientation, where the parts are in the drawing, and we redraw it inside that platforms that we have there. So it makes it a real 3D that you can manipulate and just see. So this product right there is really for visualization, to see what's inside of that. It's normal that person that has like a two-door base or whatever, they don't go necessarily inside of it to see it. But when you have something more special, if they add in a fixed shelf that calls, I don't know, just fixed shelf, you don't know where it is, well, the customer can just go in and hide his doors and go through and see where that part is inside the drawing. Each time that you select a part, it shows you where it is inside the drawing. As the information for parts, we always get in the part name, the quantity, the material. You can add in columns for the edge bending if you want, but it makes the screen more shorter at the space, so it's really important to just add in what you need. If there's some CNC image that's created, we can import them and just take a look at them. So if you choose one part with more details, well, you can have that famous picture where to show where it is if it's created. Okay, you can hide your parts, and you always have here information to know the number of total parts, the total doors or drawers that being placed, the total hardware. So you can validate if you have everything as information towards that. Inside of it, you do have the possibility to manipulate what we call back orders or damaged part. Now, it really depends on the process, but normally what we want to say it's a damaged part. You want to have signals or tell person that there has been something damaged that we can recover right now to finish our job. So it needs to be recut, and we can take over to be sure to finish our job. Normally, when you say something is back orders, well, in that case, they use it as to say, okay, we need to reorder something to our customer or suppliers. We maybe not be able to close that job as an information. And all these information, when you go in, you do have a list of information that you can track in. So all this list is customized. So person can write in their own information to say, to know what is the cause and why it has been damaged. So is it damaged by CNC, edge bending, or assembly? They choose the causes that they want. And what's great is that they can get out reports, let's say each week, and we can attach like a certain amount of value if you want to each damage part, and they can know, okay, we lost this week we did 20 parts broken at the CNC. It cost us that much money in the shop. So you can really more be proactive as information that you can give and try to fix out where your issues are without going just by, I think that the issues goes there. Each time that they track an information, it's going to tell to everyone that, or the person that you want, a pop-up message that's going to let them know that there's a damaged part or damage information inside it. And there's a warning center where they can have all these information of all the parts where it has been damaged or not. As you can see, you see the green light that tells everybody that there's a broken part inside of that product. So if it's before the assembly, the guy at the assembly know that doesn't need to start that cabinet. He's not going to find out his part at that reason. And the person that works inside the office or another place, they have all the information of knowing what job that part has been breaking, what is the reason, what date, what station has been done. So all this information, once again, is stored in a database that you can take back these information to inform. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Once that part has been sent back or has been correctly fixed out, well, they can just release it again just by saying, okay, I'm releasing it back inside the shop. And then the green flag goes out, but it comes yellow just to inform that the part is running back to itself. So the key is more like getting information towards the office and knowing what's happening inside your shop, inside one software. It's not to reinvent the process they work, just give them tools, easy tool to make it work fast. They can also type in notes if they want that's going to be attached to that project, that it's going to be internally, so everybody that goes in the job can see that note inside of it. You can also attach PDF drawings if you want, so they can go in and just open a PDF and navigate if there's a plan or if there's custom hardware information they want to fill out as paper, so everything can be stored without having to have paper screwing around everywhere inside the shop. Like I was saying before, inside your status, you have your parts right there. Well, you can scan if you want to use like what you call kitting. If you want to use like an inspection and saying, okay, everything is clear, they can go in and just scan parts label that's going to be approved for the cabinet and change the status to say, okay, it has been inspected. So if a person want to go in and scan each part, they can do it also, and it's going to change in that case the status of each part. So in that case, it can inform the person at the shop that everything has been arrived or informed towards that. Then we can have other information towards more the shipping part. What I think we called is kits. So if you want to create or wrap up some things together, so let's say we're taking every fillers together, we want to do a package with it. So you just need to select what you want as information and just give him a kit number. Automatically it's going to give right him his information, and then you can print out a label just by clicking on kit. It's going to generate for you the label that's going to be attached all these cabinets, all these parts or accessories together. What's great about it is that let me just change it as a PDF, sorry. What's great about it is that all these labels or all these informations are built out of Crystal reports, so you can modify the lookout or the way it shows that the way that they want. They always have their customer name and all the information of what's inside that kit that they just created, so the number they can have and follow up. And like I said, yeah, you can customize the label to the lookout that they want with no problem. They can even print out product label directly from the assembly or directly from the whatever, or the inspection at the end if they want. Just by clicking their product and clicking on product, you're going to generate a product label with a scan gun that they can have right there. So it all depends of the way they want to work. If they already print out their product label from the office, it's good also at the same time, but sometimes it saves us times to do it from the factory. We can also, for the kit, create some rules. So it can happen sometimes that the person say, okay, but for us, we always do kits from all the accessories that has the same name and it goes in the same room. We want to create a kit number by default. It's the kind of rule that can be done that creates kit automatically. But often persons do it by their own because it always depends on how the guy at the inspection or the accessory inspection that he does his kits for storage. Then we have the possibility to do some storage.
Jonathan,
yeah.
just so I get this right in my head, you're saying that based on the actual work order and the amount of products in that work order, a certain combination of those products will create can be programmed to create its own unique kit?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, it depends on the rules.
Okay.
We do it maybe for 2 or 3 customers, but normally people manage their own because it all depends on the guy on the shop.
Okay. Now, when the guy creates a kit, he's creating the label, and then when the guy who assembles the kit, he just uses the label?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And then after he gets the kit assembled, then he scans the label, and then that's ready to go?
Exactly.
Okay. And then it's scanned again when it's put on the truck?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You just need to scan one time what's attached to that kit and just scan it and here it goes.
Okay.
And just to be sure, like the kit are mostly used for when they have like when you have a lot of toe kicks or fillers that you all regroup together
Mm-hmm.
in one package, or sometimes person ship by pallets.
Uh-huh.
So they put all cabinets inside of that pallet, and then they wrap it up, and then they create that label of kit that they place on that pallet. So you just need to scan the pallet to say, okay, everything inside has been shipped or stored.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's really to inform what's inside of each information towards that. And then you can do some storage for your cabinets or your accessories to tell the person from the shipping where it is inside the shop. So you always have 3 colors that works with the storage, and all these numbers of storage are all customized, so the customer created the way they want. The way it works is that you have green that's available, red that has been taken by a job, and you see the job name inside. And when you see it blue, is that because you already have information of your job inside of that. Inside of that project right there, okay? So you know you have already stuff that you can replace there. The way it works is that even if you're taking like a number right there where you're placing your cabinet or your project inside of it, let's say D13s, once the project has been shipped, automatically the storage becomes available. So you don't need to say to the system, okay, I'm going to reset that storage place. It does it by itself once everything has been shipped from the project.
Okay.
Okay. And once everything has been shipped, automatically your job or your work order goes completely to complete work orders at the end right there.
Okay.
As the information, as the scanning also that we were saying, that goes for the shipping? You do have also the possibility for shipping to create what we call packing list, okay? For packing list, what it is that we can, because often inside their job or inside their shop, they will probably do some project or work orders that are all individual. So they can have like, let's say, a room 1, room 2, room 3. But when they're going to do the shipping, maybe they want to regroup everything together for one bill delivery that they want. So the packing list, this is what it helps for. They can create a packing list number where they add in each room's and this is going to create one shipping order packing list for it.
Okay.
So the customer just needs to scan each project that goes in, and it's going to change the status, and you're going to get out a report that's going to show you all the detail of all of each work orders regrouped together. So even if in the shop it can be different project that they follow, but for shipment it can be a combine of different product together.
Okay.
Okay. Then we have also the status of each project that you can. Yeah.
Jonathan?
Yeah.
You're saying that projects can or rooms can be combined and create one project, and maybe floors can be part of the same project. So you got floor 1 and floor 2, and they want to ship them all together because that's what they're going to assemble. How is that a different label, or is that exactly how are you notified that this whole project, room 1, 2, and 3 of floor 1 and room 3, 4, and 5 of floor 2 are complete and ready to go? How does that? Is there a label that somehow that is created, and does that label travel with the project? Exactly, how does that happen?
Okay. Well, just to be sure we're on the same track, let's say we have this example right here, 1413, okay? So these are all the same project that's inside the shop that needs to be followed, but it's different. It didn't have been shipped down to the shop as as one work order, but as 5 work orders, okay? So they have given a name like TR1, TR2, TR4, 5, okay? So each work orders they have their own status of where they are inside the job or project, as you can see here, or as you can open a status bar that's going to, that's going to give you a view. Okay, what's happening? Well, it's going to give you a status information of where it is. Apologize for that. Where it's going to give you a status of where all the information or all things are inside the shop. And then what happens is that for the shipping, we're creating a packing list. So what it does is that you create like a 1413 job number. So I'm going to select everything that's inside of 1413, and then I'm going to create a packing list number for that. Okay, it's going to create a packing list for that, and then I can see everything that needs to be shipped for that project. But all the labels are the same as the start that we have here, and you see the status of everything where they are inside their shop. But the product or the product labels or the kit labels, they all stay the same as you created for your work order. So this screen is really for shipping, that you regroup everything to have one bill of delivery. Did it respond to your question, or?
Tom, I think what he's talking about is making a bill of lading that is a consolidation of work orders, random.
Exactly.
I'm assuming that, a bill of lading could be for jobs that are going in different locations too. Is that correct?
Yes, exactly. It can happen that way also.
And I assume that all of these 1413s are going to turn green because they're ready to ship, and that's kind of a manual thing that they look at and they say, okay, now we've got to create this bill of lading, we're going to ship it.
Yep.
So there's no notifier that says that. It's just that you have to group all these together, and once all of them turn green, they are ready to ship.
No, there's no notifier for that now.
Okay, I would just you said earlier, well, I thought you said that it will notify you when all of them are ready to go, but that's not the case. You have to just know that all 1413 jobs are now complete and they are ready to ship.
Yeah, well, you do have a status bar that's going to show you at what station that they are, each information.
Yep. Yep.
I was trying to open for you guys, but I screwed something up.
No, that's
but
all
you
right.
do have status bar, but there's no pop-ups that comes in and say, okay, ready for shipping towards that. And you do have also the planification that goes through that shows you the step where they are inside the shop.
That's all right, Jonathan. I just thought that there was some way that they were all tied together, but they're tied together by the number, and that's
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. But you know, we're always open to grow up our system, huh? So the way it's been built is by customers' suggestion and customers' information. So this is why we make it grow with their ideas. So if it's something that needs to be think about, we're always open for these kind of suggestions.
Okay, let's keep going.
Yeah. Our goal also that we need to maintain is that we want to make it an easy process tool to integrate also at customers. So to make it work fast for them and make it easy also to get resolved with what they need.
Okay.
So let's grow by these ideas. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to show you also the status, but I have something wrong, so sorry about that. But you can have a status bar. I think you guys saw it maybe in the presentation of what status each product are in each station. So depending of the station, it counts the number, let's say, of sheet that needs to be done. It can count the number of parts that need to be done or the number of product that need to be informed if it has been done or not, depending of the way that we configure the station information. Other thing that we can show, like I wanted to show you, it's the planification. So we can open information like, let me just log in. So we can have status information, or sorry, the planification to see at what step each thing are in the shop. So it's pretty much a fast, easy tool that looks like a that looks a little bit more like Outlook if you want, just to use the tools that person are used to have in work, so they can easily try to follow where their job is using a drag and drop system. If they want to move a task to another, they can just move and drag and drop. And they can have a measurement or status information to know, okay, what's my productivity that I want inside 2 days or inside the week. They just need to select in the days like this, and it can tell you, okay, I can measure myself by sheet, by value, money value, or I can even measure myself by unit cabinet that we cut as an information. And you do always have your colors that show you where you are. So depending on what they scan, it changes the color here. So if you're doing delivery for another date, you can see if everything is ready to ship in blue right there. So you know if everything's ready for that job to be shipped for the next day, or if you need to do action. So it lets you, with the planification, a certain way, easy way to know where your job at and give you an overview information of your capacity that you have right there. I think I did a little wrap up of, again, what the system function can have. I don't know if you guys have some questions.
Any questions out there, guys? Oh, I guess I haven't been checking the, hold on. Okay, I don't have any typed in questions, Jonathan. We're low on attendance today. It's spring break, and I've got this recorded, so I'll be sending it out to everybody to review. So
I don't know. I don't know what's your thought or what it gives you as information when you guys see that.
Say that again. What are you asking?
yeah, what is you guys thought or reaction when you see the software? Do you see it? How do you guys see it towards the customers or the market?
I think that's
I think it's got some real functionality. It looks good to me. I like it. It's it's probably we haven't seen any real interface with WoodCAD CAM yet, but it looks like it's good.
Hey, Jonathan, this is Bill Waters. The reaction we got from the customer was a very positive one.
Okay.
For the presentation that you did on Friday, he goes, you know what? It seems thorough enough, but simple enough that the guys on the shop floor can understand it. There was a few things that they had the questions, like how are sub-assemblies handled and what have you, but all in all, it was a very positive response. And Sean did another quote for $35,000 for another customer that I'm getting ready to submit today. So,
great.
In addition to the one. So the feedback we're getting is pretty good. So my question to you, I hope this is appropriate time. If not, we can have a conversation later. But when you're getting this information out of the SQL database, does your company have the facility to be able to create a communication flow between two different SQL databases?
You're talking the possibility to, okay, just to be sure, if we're able to import different database, not just like, let's say, Camnavision and just one way, but being able to import like WoodCAD CAM and Camnavision at the same time inside the software, is that your question?
No, not at all.
Okay, sorry.
You're gonna be able to extract this information from our SQL database. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you be able to push information back through to back into another SQL database? So, for example, if I got MES, okay, I've got a WoodCAD CAM project, I'll push it into MES, but then I want to push the same information into the accounting program that might be running in SQL.
Okay, so yeah, okay, I understand. To be able to push out the information, yes, it would be something that could be done.
Okay.
All right, Bill, are you talking about something like taking it to an ERP system?
Well, it could be, but my main thing is, like, right now, the customer wants to engineer stuff on WoodCAD CAM, and then he wants to push it into his accounting package, which runs in a SQL database. And then when they approve everything in the accounting package, they want to be able to push it back into WoodCAD CAM so the stuff can be released for work orders. So, and it's all SQL to SQL. So it was the customer that was we were at on Friday.
Okay. Yeah, no, it would be something that could be done, Bill. We do it with some others assistant to push out the information to other softwares. So with other of our assistants, we do throw some to accounting systems. So no, it doesn't scare me at all for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
I guess Jonathan, the idea there would be that as long as the nomenclature is all the same, that it would be able to pass from SQL to SQL to SQL. Is that not correct?
Yeah, there would be some little things like that to be able to make sure that the words are the same, or maybe we're going to need to attach inside the database like the accounting table number or stuff like that. But yeah, this will help a lot if they have the same information.
So, Jonathan, right now where we're at is that I'm assuming that since we don't have the software on our computers, we go back to the customers. I've got somebody's interested in talking, and then we go through this, show them this video, and then they're going to have to do a live demo with you. Is that correct? Is that where we're at now?
Yeah, for now, this is the way we're going to work.
Okay.
It's just that, and our goal, like I said, when we talk also, Roger and John, our goal is to have 2 first customers with you guys that we're going to support you and doing the integration, or if the numbers need to be more, it's going to be more to have your support team, your team ready to integrate and serve and get you guys with the more correct with the software. We need to do a big success for our first customer and use them as reference.
Okay. All right, guys. Jonathan, thanks a lot. You've helped a lot, cleared us up. You know, we have to hear it 10 times. You've done 2 now. You only got 8 left, and you'll be in good shape. Or we could watch this video. But at any rate, appreciate your time, and look forward to getting those 2 done as quickly as possible. Thanks a lot. Any questions for anybody else, guys? All right. Thanks for your time. Talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you very much for yours, and have a nice day. Bye.
Bye.